Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're celebrating 25 years in the air this summer. I'm your host, Frankie-san. Mark is on assignment. And right away, I just want to go into a couple things here. The main reason I'm doing this is because we're going to be taking a break, wintertime break. So we're not going to be around for Star Wars and James Bond, but what we're going to be having is we're going to have pre-tape specials. We're going to have a James Bond special in November when that comes out, and one in December for Star Wars when that movie comes out. Nothing for Hunger Games. Sorry. That's kind of like old news already. So in the meantime, we have a couple shows left. We have one more show in August, another show in September. There'll probably be a repeat, and then the last show will probably be in October. But in the meantime, this is the thing I want to show you guys. Videoland Express blog. This is my blog that is completely, up to date. Except for the weekends. It's usually a day, updated, excuse me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So even when the shows are not here on Saturdays on MNN, like when we're taking a break, all the news, all the information you want to know what's going on with the show and everything like that, it's posted right over here. Now, if you want to go to the website, which is updated 2 times a month, you get the logo right over here. That's whether you click there, and that's the website. But that's only updated 2 times a month. This is the daily one, and pretty soon I will start, like I had Thursday, and basically I use Thursday's blog, and I just updated with Friday and Saturday, little updates what's going on. For example, I just posted today about Captain America and Disney. I put that on my my Google Plus page. Just real quickly, if you're looking on this side over here, now when we're not live during the week, I do a Blog Talk radio show, and that's also Talk Show Radio. Now, we kind of postponed the talk show on Talk Show. That Talk Show is a variation of Talk Show. It's an English program, English-based radio British program, but it's pretty popular in the United States. It's free, so what the hell. So we kind of postponed it because we had a sound problem. The music show, I'm going to explain in a second. And then right on the bottom is my Blog Talk Radio. That's the one. This is the one that I do weekly. That's in conjunction with my blog, my daily blog page, which you're looking at right now over here. So basically, that's weekly. And right over here on this blog, I will let you know what's going to happen with the Talk Show Radio. Now, you do see a widget there for the music show that hasn't premiered yet. Well, first what I decided to do is update my SoundCloud page. Let's go to that, if we can. That's my SoundCloud. It's specifically designed for me. Basically, that's my logo. If you eyeball. If you look carefully close inside that eyeball, you will see my initial, the letter F in Japanese. So basically, that's for Frankie-san. That's Japanese for Frankie. Simple as that. But that is my SoundCloud page. Okay, then I'm going to update the blog so you can get that also. And right now what I got is a bunch of little musical themes. Like for example, I had the original theme for Videoland Express, and then what you heard today was the updated version that had the sci-fi, that had like the X-Wing fighter going and all that stuff. And then I used to do another show called Sci-Fi from the Rising Sun. And that's what I used to show Godzilla movies. That show ran out for about 5 years on cable access. And then I got other little mini shorts as instrumentals. And that's going to be leading into my album that I'm going to be premiering hopefully by the end of the year. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that page. So if you see that eyeball, that's my logo, that is me. You'll find that a lot on Google Plus. By the way, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Google Plus is the way to go. Okay, and that's my SoundCloud page, and that's going to be I'm going to be adding more things in the next couple of weeks, and then I will also give you the preview of the solo album that I'm making. Okay, and let's go straight to the movie, straight out of Compton. Okay, let me take a little sip here, because this movie is taking everybody surprised. Let me go to my notes here, and the funny thing is, this movie is going to clear about 75 million this weekend. It came right out of nowhere, 25 million, and all of a sudden, today, by this afternoon, it has cleared 55 million already. Okay, and people are still showing up at the theaters. Sometimes the tickets, they do like an estimate. Oh, how much it's going to make. So people say, well, Saturday's not even over. How can I make 55? Well, these are pre-sales, and in conjunction of how massive, like they look at the matinee movies. Everybody's going to the matinees, and right after 12 p.m., they're filling out the seats. So that leads to a progression of, well, it looks like the evening is going to be even more tickets sold. So right now nobody predicted the 70s. They figured, throw it out there, maybe, maybe Man from U.N.C.L.E. might do some damage. And that's a DOA. Right now, number 2 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I never did a full review. I'm going to get to that in a second. Man from U.N.C.L.E. DOA. This guy, I forget his name, Armin or whatever his name is. This poor actor, he was in Lone Ranger. He went nowhere. And you got Superman. Okay, Henry Cavill, Superman cannot even save this movie. Okay, it's barely going to clear 15 million. Fantastic Four, oh boy, I got another review for that. And then rounding out, Ant-Man is actually going to make under 53 million. I mentioned Disney. Disney now has its own Comic-Con. They has their own convention, and they show clips of Captain America, and one of them they show a little clip of Ant-Man actually joining Captain America's team. That's the Civil War, Captain America and Iron Man, and that's like the talk of the craze. And what's happening is, and I mentioned this on my Blog Talk Radio, I went more into behind the scenes filmmaking, and what's happening is, for example, let me mention Minions. Those little guys are going to cost 300 million, and they still haven't opened up in China. They opened up in China. There's no 200 million. That's going to put it about approximately 1 billion 200. That means it's going to be close to maybe, let's say, top 20, top 15, almost the top 10 of all time animation. And thanks to China, it's going to put it way up on the top. Okay, now studios are looking at that. For example, Minions cost 85 million, and it's costing over $1 billion. Now, Disney had Tomorrowland, 175 million, and it tanked. Fantastic Four movie that costs 125. They're not even going to see 50 million on that. And foreign rights, the foreign box office is completely bombing out over there also. Nobody really cares. Now, I wanted to get to a couple of things. So. And another one that didn't even make it is my top 10 movies of the year. Well, let me put that. I want to reverse something here. Shaun the Sheep. Yep, from the makers of Wallace and Gromit. I'm a big fan, and that's the little Shaun Sheep up on top there. It actually came from this is like a trilogy set on DVD. Now it's on Blu-ray finally. That's how old this thing is. Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, and The Close Shave. Those were the 3 little features put together especially for this DVD. It's on Blu-ray. It looks fantastic on Blu-ray, by the way. And one of the features was called Close Shave that starred Shaun the Sheep. Really great movie. Came out 2 weeks ago, DOA at the box office. They didn't promote it whatsoever. Now, let's go back to Fantastic Four. This is a bootleg copy a friend of mine bought at a convention back in 1995. Made in Canada. This is Fantastic Four, the movie, produced by Roger Corman. Corman had the rights, and they definitely had to do something as far as keeping the rights, and that's why Fantastic Four got remade again. We know, was it back in 25 or something like that. This was the 1995 version. And we bought this, what's it? My friend bought this, we went to the convention, he bought this like $20, $25. Anyway, this is available on YouTube, along with the trailer, for free. So all you got to do is type in Fantastic Four, Roger Corman. That is the secret. Because there's bits and pieces, there's a bunch of trailers. So you'll get the trailer first, then you get the movie. So type in Fantastic Four, Roger Corman, and you get the full version. Yes, it is dark. This version is the same thing on DVD. It was filmed dark just on purpose to hide the low budget and the no scene effects. I mean, they probably had no special effects budget on this whatsoever. Now, I keep confusing myself. 2005, 2006, those 2 reboots that had the original Johnny Storm, Christopher Evans, who plays Captain America. That's when he first got his first start. And I forgot the English guy's name. He was on this past season at ABC, The Forever. I got a chance to meet him. Cool guy, really nice guy. Poor guy. He was original Dr. Richards. And it took him about 10 years to finally get a TV series, only to get canceled. Poor guy, can't get a break. But those two movies was actually kind of funny. They had the spirit, they had the costumes, they had the joke. Johnny Storm and The Thing, Ben Grimm, you know, laughing and goofing on each other and stuff like that. They really had the tone right. Now, the new Fantastic Four, I don't know what to say. I did a whole spiel on my radio show, and for some reason, I gave it a 1 out of 5. I should have given it a 0. A total waste of a movie. And I put a couple articles this past week on my blog. You can read up on that. And basically, people are asking, so what went wrong with this picture frame? Very simple. It started with the studio. Everybody's blaming the director. You know, he didn't know what he was doing. He's kind of spastic, and you know, he had a big fight with Miles Teller. He was the drummer, and Whiplash. You know, you're pushing or you're grabbing, right? He was excellent in that. Over here, it looked like he's dream walking. So he had a fight with the director because he fought for him, and then Teller was like, "Listen, I don't think you know what you're doing over here." So the director got insulted. He didn't like the actress who played Sue Storm, mainly because he didn't want her. He wanted another actress, and the studio said, "No, we want her." So right away, the director was clashing. But I still blame the studio because they don't know what they're doing. Number one, very simple. This happens with a lot of first-time directors, like Garth Edwards, okay, Godzilla. He went from doing this little picture called Monsters, made for less than $1 million, and they gave him $200 million to Godzilla. That's one hell of a big jump. But they said, listen, we want these kind of stars. Try to keep Godzilla in the dark until the very end. They gave him all these little presets in his contract. Okay? If you ever remember the original Poltergeist, directed by Tobe Hooper. Who? Tobe Hooper was the original director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre back in 1974. So Steven Spielberg said, okay, I want this to be spooky, but you gotta make it PG, 13 kind of, you know. And even Steven Spielberg, you know, maybe I should stay out of his way. Tobe Hooper said, throughout the whole shooting, all I got was memos and memos, on top of memos from Steven Spielberg, how to direct and make this damn movie. And he told Spielberg, why don't you direct the damn film yourself? Okay, and Spielberg said, you know, maybe I should stay out of his business. And the film was kind of whacked in the editing. Well, it still happens today. So Spielberg gave, I forgot the gentleman's name, Colin Trevorrow, I think, Trevor, the director of Jurassic World. And he had these presets. And basically, he was told, keep the action going, don't show the IREX until, you know, halfway through the picture, whatever. Even though it was in the script, these are little things that they put down on the list. Make sure you follow this, and make sure when you write the movie, and you know you have a handwriting, make sure there's a way out for a sequel. Meaning, what was it, Dr. Wu, I believe, the guy doing all the experimenting and creating. He was in the original Jurassic Park. He was in this one. He's the one who escapes in the, with a briefcase into the helicopter, and he gets away with the dinosaur DNA to go anywhere. And the director told Colin, make sure you have an Audi, you know, an escape clause, so we can have a sequel. That this is the character that escapes with the DNA, so now we can have, instead of a Jurassic World and that particular island, we can put him maybe in England or Japan or even Australia. So he had his notes. Okay, what was another example that's escaping right now? But it happens to a lot of directors. Okay, and Colin, he did what was that picture? A Safety Net Guaranteed. Another picture, cost $100,000, and they gave him $150 million. Here, make a dinosaur movie. But you know, these are prerequisites. We want to make sure you put all this stuff in the movie. Well, over here, the studio did the same thing to the director, and basically that was okay. Number one, you got to make them all teenagers. Okay, we don't want to see the professor there, you know, gray hair on the sides and the temples, okay? He's got to be a teenager. Make everybody a teenager, okay? Number two, we want Johnny Storm to be black so we can get a black audience. Is that the stupidest thing you ever heard? That is an exact quote in Variety magazine. I'll put that on my blog. Not being racist, okay? This comes from a quote. That's the mentality of the studio. Now, and people wonder, well, so what happened to the audience, Fantastic Four? Well, if you want to know what happened to the black audience, they're going to see Back to Compton, okay? It shows the studio's right. That's the mentality, okay? So, hopefully I didn't come up the wrong way about that, but this is the studio's mentality. I'm just repeating their thoughts and the actual definition of what the studio wanted. And then, of course, they gave them the $125 million, and then what happened after that? Well, okay, three action scenes One of them was actually halfway filmed. That's the thing attacking the army, and that was in the trailer, but they cut that out of the movie just to save on the special effects, and the whole sequence was not even finished, wasn't even in the movie. Next one, the Fantastic Car. I put that in my blog in an article, and the article stated these are the little deleted scenes pertaining to bigger scenes that are supposed to be in the movie. And they had this old car, look, big wrecked car, it's all wrecked up and everything. Looked like they got on a garage sale. Of course, they went to CG into that with a Fantastic Car. Well, you see the scenes where they're getting in and out of this car, on the stage with the green screen in the back. And they didn't even bother with that. They took the whole sequence out. By the time they get done with it, the movie was complete bore. For 1 hour, nothing happens. They go to the planet, they get changed, and all of a sudden, then it's then containment. So sorry guys, you can. There's a military base. We can't let you out. And Johnny Storm said, "Listen, we got to bust out of here." And what happens is they manage to go back to that planet, and they catch up with Dr. Doom, and all of a sudden, there's a big action sequence at the very end. Completely directed by somebody else, and it didn't even fit in the movie. There's a thing called, especially with editing, there's a little behind the scenes here, and we all editors learn this. And the 4 steps of editing is called structure, pacing, rhythm, and tempo. Something this movie did not have. And that is like against the law, God forbid. It's like you broke all 10 commandments, okay? And this picture did not follow any of these 4 steps. If you happen to be a musician, you do a lot of this with rhythm and tempo to get the flow of the song going. Well, and then structure, you have your intro, you have your verse, and you have your chorus. And in the movie version, you have your 30 minutes, you introduce all the characters. Boy falls in love with girl loses girl to the villain. Boom, the chase is on. The chase happens in the 2nd act. And the 3rd act, where he catches up with girl, he beats up the villain, gets the girl, and gets on the horse, and then right into the sunset. This structure was completely off. Okay, there was no rhythm, no tempo, and you can see in the first hour what he was trying to accomplish. And that was basically to make it really like, not science fiction, science fact, but it was a total bore. So when it came in the last half hour, okay, let's try to make up some kind of action, and the next thing you know, the movie's over. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, you have to see it to believe it. I mean, it's just like the tone just changed, and you could tell it was like somebody stuck a half-hour episode from the Sci-Fi Channel and stuck it at the end of this movie. I mean, it was like almost 2 different movies. I didn't understand that whatsoever. But that's how bad that was. Right now on my website, I have the best of and the worst of. We're going to go over that when Mark comes back. We're going to have the best and worst of. Fantastic Four managed to go on my top of the list of the worst movie of the year so far. That's how bad that is. It was so bad after we saw the movie, we had to go home and say, what do you got on your TiVo? I said, well, I got Sharknado. Put that on, because that was a hell of a lot better than this movie. Anyway, sorry for beating a dead horse to the ground, but I had to say that. Now, I didn't get I was going to say, actually, we're going to put up Mission Impossible. We did that last time, but somebody said, you guys do too many spoilers, so we didn't say too much about the movie. Okay? I figured now I'm going to say it. It's time for Men from Uncle, another spy movie. Nobody cares. Everybody's just looking for James Bond. Well, I just want to do a little sequence here. It was a sequence in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which I really liked. And that was, everybody's talking about the plane at the beginning, the big car chase sequence, followed by the motorcycle sequence right behind each other. And then at the end, it was kind of a low-key kind of thing. But him and Simon Pegg, and I forget the name of the actress, they were fantastic. But there was a sequence in the first hour of the movie. Now, hopefully you have seen the movie. Now I can tell you the spoiler. Well, you did see. If you haven't seen it, it's in the trailer. So, in the first hour, he goes after this guy who's responsible for something, of course, dealing with the plot. And they go to an opera house. And there's an opera going on, and he's after this guy. He finds out that's not the guy that he's actually going after, which means the main villain of the movie. He finds out he finds out it's an assassinator. And then he finds out there's another assassinator on the balcony that's ready to kill this one person, but it's ready to kill this other person. And now the next thing you know, there's a whole cross-reference going on, and he's trying to stop the assassination, trying to stop this guy, and this article I'm going to put on my blog on Monday. And how did he use a flute as an assassination weapon? I thought that was really great. And there was a lot of suspense. It's a thriller, almost like Alfred Hitchcock. They're fighting up on top of all the lighting, the scaffolding. You figure, how's he going to get out of this? I mean, the editing, the sequence, I thought it was fantastic. That was like actually the best part of the movie for me. And the main reason I said it because Casino Royale had something like that. There's been a lot of news lately about the new James Bond Spectre, but over here they had the same sequence in Casino Royale, and Mission Impossible just beat it. Casino Royale could not touch it. Okay, it was a good sequence, Casino Royale, but Mission Impossible did a better job than that. So that's a warning sign. Hopefully, James Bond Spectre will not be a disappointment. Now, everybody's predicting that it's a Jurassic Park. I keep saying that bad habit. Jurassic World is #3 all-time box office. Now, is that going to be like the top picture? Well, here it goes. As far as action, Furious 7 right now is in the top 5. So, and that didn't have the 3D cheat like the Avengers and Jurassic World. So, if anything, that means that James Bond, Skyfall was like #7 of all time until all these other movies started coming out. Now, I think Skyfall is like right now #12 all time box office. But that means that Spectre should be winding up in the top 5, probably along with Furious 7. That means Star Wars is the film that's going to beat Jurassic World. Is it going to be Titanic and Avatar? It looks like it's going to be Titanic. And don't forget, Titanic cheated also because that got released as a 3D. So if they didn't have they didn't include the 3D sales the second time it was released, J-World actually would have beaten in domestic sales, and it would have been quite close to being tied for second best internationally, believe it or not. Because it got released in 3D, Titanic has that little cheat, so it made a little bit extra money as a re-release. Now, the funny thing is, J-World, Jurassic World, for short, is coming out again for, I think about in a week or two. A special 3D edition, IMAX, only in those specific movie theaters. And if it does that, if it makes 20 million, it will beat Titanic. Excuse me. Yeah, it will beat Titanic for #2 in the U.S. domestic, believe it or not. So there's, Jurassic World still got a little punch there. But it looks like the movie to beat is Avatar. And it looks like Star Wars is going to beat J-World. It looks like it's going to tie for Titanic. And now all bets are on if it's going to beat Star Wars. Or should I say Star Wars is going to beat Avatar. Okay. Everything else from now until then, it doesn't really matter. Hunger Games, nobody cares. That's going to be a filler between James Bond and Star Wars. That's why we're taking a break. So we'll be back in November with special, James Bond special, and we'll be back in December for our Star Wars special, since I won't be in the city. Anyway, anything else that I want to cover real quickly? Yes, let's save the best for last. Okay, a little trivia, then I'm gonna give you my top 5 list because everybody saw the. Well, let me do that right now. One of my favorite all-time movies, Magnificent Seven, all-time westerns. Ed Harris is doing a film. Excuse me, he's doing an HBO series called Westworld. Westworld actually was done with Yul Brynner, the head of this cowboy gang, okay, and they did a movie called Westworld where he played the same gunslinger. That's Yul Brynner right there. This is the original Magnificent Seven. Anyway, and Yul Brynner played Westworld, the gunslinger, in dressed in black. Ed Harris is playing the same role as the gunslinger in Westworld, the HBO series. I think that's going to be pretty cool. That was another big favorite of mine. Let me look at my list. Another one, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Wild Bunch, and Tombstone and How the West Was Won. Now I'm mentioning Tombstone because Tombstone starred Val Kilmer, who was Batman, and Kurt Russell, who was Mr. Nobody in Furious 7. Well, Kurt Russell is in the new movie Hateful Eight, which is going to be released the same time as Star Wars. I don't get that at all. Luckily, Tarantino has his fans there. So that should be interesting. Now, I have more top 10s. Which is going to be announced on my show, on the Blog Talk Radio show. For example, Alien Avenger movies, World of Worlds, Independence Day, The Thing, time travel movies, Back to the Future, Terminator, and of course Star Trek. Okay, there will be more top 10 lists on the radio show. So when this show takes a break, Blog Talk Radio is going to cover all that. So more top 10s are coming, and last but not least, my favorite movie of the year so far is J-Road. My second best is, that's right, Minions, Papaya. Okay, I want to end the movie on this show on a good note. Despicable Me, and it's funny because I listened to the commentary and a little trivia. These little guys were actually were made in the lab according to this first movie by the old professor. Remember him with the big goggles and the gloves, and they changed the whole background on these guys. If you listen to the commentaries in this one, it's Despicable 2. Despicable Me number 2, should I say? In the commentaries there, and number 2, they kind of admitted like we decided to get away that they were genetically engineered in the lab. The first movie points to that, and then by the time Minions comes, they came from the ocean, of course. Okay. The funny thing about this, they actually got. If you put the I'm trying to, what's that thing there? Yeah, right, there we go. Okay, if you put the subtitles, when the Minions are talking, like when the characters are talking, you get English subtitles, you get Spanish subtitles, but when the Minions are talking, it says that the characters are talking Minionese. So it's not gibberish. A lot of people say, oh, they're talking gibberish. No, it's an actual language, Minionese, which is consisting of English, French, Spanish, Taiwanese, Mayanese, or something like that. Malaysian, and a little bit of Italian in there. So that's what the language consists of. Anyway, and this guy does on Minions, the solo movie, Pierre Chauffin, he did over 899 voice tracks, just for those little Minions. I'm really impressed with that because artistically somebody's got to be in a vocal booth doing all these damn voices, which is nuts. I can barely get through a 30-minute show here live, and this guy's in the booth all day doing all these damn voices, all in different dialects. I think that's pure genius, and that's why I really look up this movie. That's why I keep mentioning it. And why Fantastic Four? You got so many writers, so many directors, so many producers, so many studio people, and they get the damn thing wrong. Then anybody read the comic? It's so simple. Follow the comic. That's all you got to do. Stop changing it and stop rebooting and stop making these damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Origins. Let's go back to the very beginning. How did Fantastic Four become Fantastic Four? You know, you got the internet. There's no time. Why are you wasting time for this? You waste $125 million. Everybody's out of work, and somebody lost their parking spot for greenlighting this damn mess. And you know, you could have just included them in X-Men and just get the damn thing going. So, the same thing they're going to do with Spider-Man. They're going to redo Spider-Man all over again. This time Peter Parker is going to be in high school. Who cares? Anyway. And they say, why I'm not smiling, why I don't have fun. This was tough to see, man. I wasted 2 hours of my life, man. And including my $15. It's not fun. But Minions are fun. Okay, I want to end on a good note. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I've been doing this for 25 years. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget the blog page and my radio shows. I think that should do it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Damn, I was losing it there.